Hey guys, Zapophilia here, and today I finally bought Arnav Poe, the legendary pilot. It finally showed up in my pilot store without me refreshing it. And just to read his bio, Arnav was once an engineer in the Icarus colony. He was brilliant at designing and building mechs and weapons. Whenever he invented something new, he always wanted to build and test it immediately. To increase his proficiency, he added a pair of mechanical arms to his body, which allowed him to design and build at the same time. Arnav was famous both on Mars and Earth. He often visited the third planet to carry out upgrades or repairs for local mercenaries and Icarus. And the final part of the story is just while he was doing a repair, he was attacked. The Ravana he was repairing was in good condition. He entered it and escaped. So I finally bought this pilot. You can check out the godlikes on my channel where I use the Ravana with just a normal pilot you're looking at now, Lana Noel. But today we're going to see if a brand new Arnav Poe can compare to a level 50 normal pilot. If the extra active charge, if the extra ability charge is that significant. So first of all, we'll start playing with Lana. I showed you all the skills there. Basically, I have the healing skill, I have a damage skill, a durability skill, and the death survivor for an extra charge. And yeah, I've gotten a bunch of legendaries. This is actually the first legendary as part of a free special event I didn't get. Sorry, and I had to buy. So let's jump in. First of all, we're testing out Lana, the level 50 pilot. Showed you all her pilot skills just now. And we're jumping on Yamantol. Hands down the biggest map on the game. Not the best for close range brawling, but the TARAN RAVANA is actually a 350-meter brawler, which is good. Once you get to the center of the map, you have a lot of 350-meter scenarios. And you saw how I just ran out of abilities here. I usually rely on jumping into the heat of battle, and when someone drops my HP to 50%, I get an automatic recharge, and that recharge gives me time to recharge others. I can get like 7 in, consistently 7 charges. But I wonder how it would be when I finally get a death survivor on Arnav Poe. So excited, guys. I'm sure I'll be getting living legends and all that in Champions League. TARAN is a very good weapon. I'm having a little lag here. Warbot had a little lag problem. They fixed it somewhat with the last patch, but still needs a little work. And this is just about timing his firing time. And you see I took barely any damage, and he was packing some pulsars and what looked like a vortex. Right? Yeah, vortex. And I took little to no damage. If you play the Ravana well, you're not going to need the healing module at all. So let's see what goes on. Yeah, that's Strider over there. I believe I got him real good. I got him, you see that kill? There was a little lag. I actually killed him before he dashed. But luckily I still got the kill. Warbot isn't one of those games where you have ping issues. It's mostly lag that affects people. I guess because of the pace of the game and the way it calculates damage. Okay, we have 2 Raveners now. I've actually moved a little into enemy territory. You see I've passed the middle, but I'm smartly going back now, because at that position I can be ambushed from so many directions. Moving us to Ravener pilots. And you see how I'm beating out that Storm Ravener with range. If he runs out of his ability on this map, since we have the same speed, and I'm actually probably faster because of my pilot skill, Roadhog, that gives me a 10% speed boost, can't catch up. And at 350 meters, the TARAN destroys the Storm, hands down. So I'm just patrolling the area. The ability is pretty useful for changing sites on the map. So you see, you fight on one side, you can quickly move to the other side and fight, kind of what the Ravana was known for. And because of the consistency, it's not like a phantom ability where you teleport back to your spawn. Maybe this ability you can just keep using it to move around the map. So still in the center area, Ravana is still taking barely any damage, which is really good. That what's the name again? That blitz is the ardent blitz, and it is at the helmet in the game, probably worse than the Falcon, except that its ability has a timeout. It's just really bulky. You hit it and it barely feels like you're doing any damage. Sometimes it discourages you from wasting those bullets. And that blitz. At least you can still lock it down since it doesn't have the Aegis shape. Still good. No real problem so far. Just been holding the center and doing some guerrilla tactics since basically I'm immune to everything. If I time it well, I haven't had to use the death survivor at all. So you know what, maybe 3 ability charges is overkill, but we're going to find out, because I can get godlikes pretty steadily with my MK2 level 12 Tarans. I'm guessing level 10 or 9 Corona hasn't been a problem for me, but maybe somehow a single charge can be so overpowered that everyone needs to get it. You know, like the Algin pilot that everyone absolutely needs to get. It basically gives you a second active ability. Probably the best pilot, legendary pilot out there. I don't know if Arnav Poe is one of those pilots. I just need to get him. The game still goes on. Another Ardent Blitz. Really hard to kill. I'm shooting at it with MK2 level 12 Tarans and it's not budging. It's just like shooting at a Titan, which is ridiculous. And yeah, so I mentioned going too deep into enemy territory. You see, we have the center beacon. The best strategy would be to hold the beacon, but I like to have fun while playing the game, so I moved in towards the what they call that beacon, the E beacon, I think, and it didn't work out so well. They had the Titan patrolling, and Blitz was not going to die anytime soon. While retreating, I found myself in open space and I killed him. So let's just test out this HE, because my plan is to move my pilot to the HE. So let's just get a comparison of the HE's performance now without any good pilots on it. H is a really old bot, but somehow it's still really good. It's just the dash ability is a really good ability. Strider, HE, people still use them because dash cannot be underestimated. It still works really well in so many situations. Dash gives you so much flexibility, and he packs 3 million weapons, so cryos and igniters, some of the highest DPS in the game, so I'm not actually lacking in this spot. Just playing the game. But guys, not to get off track from the subject of the video, the Ravana actually lasted approximately 6 minutes, which is really good. If you can go 6 minutes with one bot holding all its weapons, there's no other proof of good gameplay. I mean, you have 5 bots, one went 6 minutes. But unfortunately guys, my game froze on this screen for several minutes and I couldn't pull up the score. So after I quit the game, I jumped back in. Unfortunately, we don't know how well we did in terms of numbers, but it's okay. 6 minutes on one bot is, it says it all. So now, the thing I was thinking right here, because this is a recorded video. Okay, let's see the HE pilot first. I purposefully left it at level 20 because I'd been expecting to get the Arnav Poe for a long time, planning to switch the pilot over. But now I don't know if I should keep it there or put the pilot on my other Ravana, which I have plans for, but then I figured I still have to level up the bots and the weapons. It's going to take so much time, and rather than waste that time, I just put it on my HE and use that to get the resources to actually upgrade this Ivory Ravana, which looks really good. Good enough for meta hanger, I guess. So, and that's my second hanger if you guys haven't seen it before. So I just checked how much it costs to actually promote this HE pilot. 1000 for the next level and keep leveling it up. In comparison, changing pilots is much better. So first things first, I put Arnav Poe on my Ravana. I decided not to add any extra ability. I didn't even know you had that once you get a new legendary pilot. I just left it empty so the test is even better. Then now to change the HE pilot to Lananol. Yeah, I fumbled a little here, but I'm going to do it, so just bear with me. See, I almost chose Arnav here, which was a mistake, but it's not that bad. You can actually switch pilots freely without any cost. It's just changing the ability that costs gold. So we switch Lana, and it turns out it's cheaper this way because changing one of these abilities randomly costs just 200 gold, and changing all 5 of these is the same price I was going to use to upgrade that other pilot just once, the level 20 pilot on the HE that was on the HE. So I got pretty good skills. The igniter deals increased damage. I might have to change that to the cryo at least because I have 2 cryos and just 1 igniter. But it's still good. A purple maxed out gunsmith. And the thing is, because these abilities were maxed out, even if they are not for this pilot, every ability I'll get in those spots will also be maxed out. Or at least, yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. But the last ability wasn't maxed out on my Ravana, so I guess that's why it's that way. It was probably one of those abilities that don't max out. So we have Raider Gunsmith, increased damage. Wow, that's actually impressive. 2 damage buffs to my H. My H is actually running a thermonuclear reactor, so extra damage is still good. Actually 3 damage buffs, that's insane. I didn't even notice. So I fumbled there. Actually I cancelled the first guidance operator because it's not clear what ability my cursor is clicking, but then I got crazy electrician, which is good. So the cursor is actually on the right side of the abilities. That straight line tells you what you've selected right now. So adamant, which gives me defense if they're winning. So this is all good. If they're winning, I get high defense, I get all this damage and constant increased electric shield. So that's actually good for randoms, and it's the most important part is it's the same price as trying to upgrade a level 20 pilot to get a second skill, and you still have to upgrade that pilot again and pay some more money. So changing pilots is still the way to go with the pilot rework from the last update. So now let's test these 2 bots in battle. I had these abilities, these boosters on the last time, so to be fair, I put them on again, and now we're testing a level 1 legendary pilot. So, what a coincidence, we land on the exact same map, Yamato, but it's not going to turn out the exact same way as you find out right now. So first of all, I test how long I can go with this, and yeah, I don't run out of the charge, but it seems that Roadhog was really important. It gave me a 10% speed boost. I probably would have gotten to the beacon by now, but it's okay because look how I'm recharging while you're using the third charge. You cut down half of the recharge time, which is the essential difference I've noticed so far. So I'm taking this long road, forgetting that Yamato is home to snipers, and what I see is a Spectre shock train. I didn't know anyone still used that, and he got me. I had to leave that line for him because if I kept going, he was going to keep hitting me and probably jump back. So it wasn't a really good strategy. So that was the first mistake. See how much damage I've already taken. It didn't go this way in the last match. You have to be careful of effective snipers in this game because they're really good. Like the Shock Train Spectre, the Natasha Trebuchet. Those snipers will really do some damage and affect your entire gameplay because you can't rush in as you normally would if you have just half of your HP. I'm already at half HP in basically 2 minutes, and this is all because of, I guess, my playstyle. And now I'm already in enemy territory. Like I explained to you guys, the shock train is still hitting me, and of course a storm ravener comes up. This is why you stay in the center, because at their area, I mean, there are so many meta bots that can beat you up close. The cryo builds, the storm builds, and I really shouldn't have gone in like that, especially on a map like this where it's really hard to retreat. So let's just test out the new HE. Remember, we have those damage boosts, better energy shield. Right now I'm rocking 75,000 health on the energy shield, and that is a lot. Almost bringing my combined health against kinetic weapons to 200,000, about the HP of the Ravana itself. Make that 21, 210,000. So, yeah, looking good so far. I know they're going to kill that guy, so I just left him. And the cryo igniter is a really high damage dealing bot. I'm actually pretty impressed. There's one spot in Yamato that's very popular. I use these naturally built shields, and it's a really fun thing to do using these shields. But I'm fighting off, I guess, 3 Aljuns, and it's not looking so good. I'm doing pretty well considering, and I'm dead. So let's jump into another match where I play smartest just so we can actually see it perform. I'm just showing you that we still have the same setup. I haven't changed anything. Now let's go. And this is a really good map to show off the Ravana carrier map. And of course I showed it off. So starting up, somehow I'm so late into the game I didn't even know that was possible. First charge. One thing with Ravana is when you jump, once you land on the ground, you have to wait. I mean, it happens to all bots, but it's important to the Ravana because while you're frozen there for that moment, you actually can't move. And if you have your ability active, you're going to waste a whole second, which is significant. So, just doing a routine checkup here, ran into another Ravana. Ravana versus Ravana is a really tricky battle, but right now I do have the range advantage, which is what I'm trying to take advantage of, what I'm trying to use, I mean. The weakness to the Storm Ravana is range. Problem is on close range maps, you can always do something about that range. But we're off to good starts. I've lost a slight amount of health, but I went up against Storm Ravana, so it's not a shock. So you see how I'm not pushing to the center. The center beacon is white right now, but I'm not pushing it. I'm just holding everyone on this flank at 350 meters. And it's working. We got center beacon now. And you see even across the map, I'm just hitting everything at 350 meters, and they are seeing the damage, the amount of damage they're taking, and no one's pushing in this direction, which is really good. That blitz is probably someone who has attacked me before. Is that an Ardent's blitz? No, it's not. So I'm surprised it would rush a Ravana like that. Maybe I didn't know I was a Ravana, because right now I have 3 charges. If I'm cautious enough, I'm probably never going to run out of charges. Considering I have 350 meters, I don't have to move so much. One of the reasons I chose the TARAN. So like right now I'm just shooting, and if I ever feel like I'm in danger, it's the only time I activate the ability. Or if I have 3 abilities, activating ability is always good because it gives you time to recharge another, which always works in your favor. So now I'm just using cover, watching my 6, and here was a very important strategy. You know how annoying the Nightingale gets on top of a beacon? You really shouldn't compete with Nightingale at a beacon, so I decided to go for the center beacon. They have only one man that's not spawned, and he decided to spawn at our home beacon, probably to capture it, and in the confusion I got a free center beacon, 2 charges left. I'm not in any danger whatsoever because I can always transcend, like right now. So now I'm going back to provide some cover at our home beacon. On the Karen map, because it's exactly the same, it's sometimes hard to remember which side you're from, you know what I mean, like which side is your home beacon, but at least when you die you can always start in the right direction. But things get confusing really fast. Like now it looks as though we've switched home beacons, but our home beacon is still right here. Just trying to do damage. Reloaded weapons there. If you're not a War Robots player, you might see someone shooting into walls not knowing what they're doing, but you have to empty clips of some guns to reload. And then who knew someone would camp under with 2 giant thunders, which is basically cheating, but thank god I reacted fast enough. If I went close enough to that guy, he would have demolished me. Look how much HP he took. And then he comes up with the Leo again. He's taking advantage of these old school bots that have so many what do they call them, hard points, weapon slots. But here I made a mistake. I really didn't mean to move him, but I usually move him because I have the Corona. But it turns out his Thunder probably has short grouping, and you don't want to mess with the kinetic shotguns when they have short grouping. So I just keep using my Death Mark, which is really effective. I maintain the range, but thanks to that slight mistake over there, my Ravana is down by 1 weapon and it's not as effective. I can still run around, but there's no point. So now that the Ravana is gone, let's test out the HE. The HE, because of the AoE of all the weapons, it's really good against multiple people, especially with the lockdown. But there is a limit to how much damage it can do, and it got one of the weapons. And once again, bots like these, when they're down to 2 weapons, you know, considering um, aside from its weapon it's really weak, it's not that useful. So I just changed bots because I really want to win. I mean, we're done with the test, and who wants to lose? So Thanks for watching this video, guys. Really appreciate it. What do you guys think? In my opinion, since both bots lasted 6 minutes, the Arnav Poe version also lasted 6 minutes, and I did that with just the legendary ability. It is pretty overpowered, but not really overpowered to the level of, how do you say, Aljun. Yeah, because another level 50 Ravana can probably win me, but I don't see any Aljun winning without Yangli winning a Yangli Aljun. So the ability is pretty overpowered. It's pretty necessary, but it's not, how do I say, mandatory. It's for the fact that it's lasted at the same time as a level 50 normal pilot means it's on par. But if I level it up, then there would be no comparison. Putting the same skills you saw on Lan and Oil. So I look forward to doing that. And now let's try and win this match. That was a really standard unholy machine kill because the Calamity has lock on. I just get to move around with that. But right here, another Aljun came, and this one was a really tough cookie. Like, he has, they call that thing that prevents lockdown. Anyway, cause of the range, I couldn't fly back too much, and he got a lot of shots in. That's how he killed me. But we're still going to win this match. At least that's my intention. So taking on this invader, really good because I'm bypassing all his resistance, and this is actually just a level 20, 22 kid. I haven't leveled it up. I'm saving up platinum for the Titan I choose to get. So I just use it against resistance bots because you just bypass their resistance and they're basically cockroaches once again. I try not to get into too many fights with Aljuns when I'm in my Titan because it's a weak Titan and Aljuns really devour Titans. It would have been good if they stayed around me, but they're moving away. So the battle ended. It was a good attempt. I think we ran out of time, and that was that. So they start to show up on the screen now. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, please leave a like. Feel free to share and comment. I read comments, and please subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because you're going to get direct access to my awesome content, and make sure to click the bell icon to get notifications. Till next time, stay humble.